The 5-2 Red Mob Bloods found their roots in North Tulsa, specifically on East 52nd Place and 52nd in Frankfort. This seemingly ordinary neighborhood would become the birthplace of Bloods culture in Tulsa, a legacy that remains unchallenged to this day. Their inception occurred at a time when the city's gang lines were being etched into the streets. And trust me, they're not the kind of folks you'd want to run into on a dark night. Maniac is a high-ranking member who grew up on Tulsa's north side and earned his rank in the gang. Well, these crimes would catch up to him when he pleaded guilty in federal court. His charges were related to a sex trafficking operation run by the Tulsa Police Department's Vice Unit. Herring admitted guilt to child sex trafficking and conspiracy to engage in child sex trafficking. He had been charged with several counts, including conspiracy, child sex trafficking violations, and more. Prosecutors revealed that Herring was the mastermind behind a child sex trafficking venture that targeted at least 3 underage victims in Tulsa. Herring wasn't alone in this criminal enterprise. He worked with his girlfriend, Morgan Palmer, and others to recruit girls under 18 for commercial sex work in various Tulsa motels. The authorities cracked down on their operation when, in January 2016, Tulsa Police Department Vice Unit officers discovered a 16-year-old victim during an undercover operation. This operation involved TPD's response to an online advertisement on Backpage.com. Herring was arrested shortly after. Despite his arrest, the investigation revealed that the sex trafficking operation was still active. Vice Unit officers conducted another undercover operation targeting a related Backpage ad. On January 19, 2016, they arrested Morgan Palmer, who had continued the child sex trafficking operation from her apartment. In total, 3 minors were identified as victims of Herring's child sex trafficking ring. Another minor victim was identified in a related operation involving individuals named Letitia Perkins and DeJuan Allen. Herring's plea agreement spelled out a sentence of 22 years in federal prison without the possibility of parole. Back in 1999, on December 13th, something terrible happened in Joplin. Paris Harbin and Chandy Plum lost their lives, and it was no accident. They were gunned down in a cold-blooded double murder. The story takes a darker turn when we meet Thomas Mad Dog Smith, a member of the Red Mob Gangsters. It's said that he was on the prowl that night, looking for someone from a rival gang, the Hoovers. He had some beef with them, and he was ready to settle the score, but things went terribly wrong. In the darkness of that night, Mad Dog thought he saw a face he recognized. This person owed him money for some drugs, and in a fit of rage or fear, he opened fire. The city of Joplin had seen its fair share of trouble, but this was different. The whole community was shaken to the core. The whispers started, rumors swirled, and the truth was lost in the shadows. Years passed, and the mystery remained unsolved. But justice was creeping up on Mad Dog Smith. He found himself in the hot seat, accused not only of murder, but also drug deals and gun crimes. The trial was coming, and it was a scary time for the city. And let's not forget about Brian Lamel McDaniel and Donald Overton, 2 other guys from Tulsa who'd been convicted for a different gang-related murder. Joplin was no stranger to violence. The trial was like a storm, with revelations that would shock the city. Witnesses came forward talking about stolen drugs and money, misplaced blame, and the deadly aftermath. It was a twisted tale of lies and confusion, making it hard to find the truth. Alicia Reyes and Diamond Bradley, locals who stepped up as witnesses, talked about drugs and money as the motive for the murders. It was a world where betrayal had lethal consequences. But as the trial went on, things got messy. Bradley said he wasn't even there on that night, casting doubt on the key witnesses' reliability. Mad Dog's defense argued that there was no real proof tying him to the crime. They said that the initial accusations were built on lies and deceit, making the search for justice even tougher. The U.S. Attorney's Office, though, had a grip on Mad Dog's indictment. They had more witnesses, people who claimed to have heard him say some really incriminating stuff. One guy, Aaron Brooks, said he overheard Mad Dog on the phone saying, "We killed the wrong people." It sent chills down everyone's spine. Monica Baker, another potential witness, told the grand jury about a $2,000 theft and a scary conversation with Mad Dog. He told her, "Do you know what happened to the last people that took money from me?" It was like something out of a scary movie. As the trial rolled on, it was clear this was more than a simple murder case. It was a deep dive into a dark, violent world that most people had never seen. It's important to note that the 5-2 Red Mob played a major role in forming the umbrella gang called the Squeeze Team, which is an alliance meant to bring together the neighborhoods of Tulsa. This team consists of multiple blood sets, with the main players being the 5-2 Red Mob and the 747 Rip Boys. The 5-2 Red Mob Bloods are no strangers to violence. They are in a deadly war with the Hoover Crips, known as the Gas Team, and the 48 Denver-made Hustle Gang, which is a homegrown gang. Unlike California, Crips, and Bloods, these beefs aren't rooted in turf, but instead control for the drug trade. As for alliances, they're primary allies among the Hoover sets, notably the 43 Hoovers and 54 Block Hoovers. Conversely, they engage in conflicts with the 111 Crips, who align with the Red Mob, and the 47 Green Team, centered around 47 and Chamberlain Park. This gang primarily comprises neighborhood Crips and Red Mobs, escalating the animosity between them. They have expanded their reach across Tulsa, with various sets affiliating themselves with the gang. These include the 32 Red Mobs, who proudly lay claim to the Squeeze Team banner, the 59 Red Mob, 54 Hartford Bloods, 45 Hunted Bloods, 764 Bloods, 38th and 39th Street Red Mob, and some 51st Street Bloods that align with the Red Mob. Members are also popping up in other states like Texas and North Carolina. Some high-ranking members of the gang are Abe, Factor, Fat C, Rum, Red Nose, and Tice Blood. Notably, even the famous YouTuber B-Lou has murky ties to the Red Mob, shrouding his role within the gang in mystery, but has been seen with the mob and throwing up the letter B. Like Cali-based gangs, the 5-2 also have street warriors who wear their hoods proudly. The 5-2 Red Mob Bloods display the letter M and dog paw tattoos featuring the unmistakable 5-2, signifying their rank and status within the gang.